Hi Flosstube, I'm Sarah, Cross Stitch Sarah, here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel all about cross stitch, and today is the 5th of January 2025. So Happy New Year everybody. If you celebrated Christmas, I hope you had a good time, or if you just had some time off and spent time with your family or doing the things that you love, then I hope you had a good time doing that too. And a good New Year for anybody that partied. We just stayed at home. It was just myself and my husband. We watched a bit of TV and yeah, we did stay up and see in the New Year, and that was that. Nothing spectacular. If you've watched my recent Flosstube extra videos, this is another Flosstube in another fluffy jumper because we still don't have a working boiler. So for those of you who haven't watched those, briefly, the boiler stopped working 2 weeks ago, and we have got hot water but no heating, so we've got a couple of little electric heaters that are warming us up a little bit. So yeah, so it's still a bit of a challenge. Hopefully we're getting that sorted next week, but for today, another fluffy jumper, sorry. So this Flosstube is number 12. And it's going to be about an ordinary Flosstube, all about my December stitching. So what I got up to in December, finishes, whips and so on. And then I'll do a little bit of plans and then some stitchy kindness and haul at the end for those that are interested. So in December, I've got some notes here, so I'm going to be looking down. Also, you will hear some noises. My husband's going to be coming in and out a little bit. He is, despite there being 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground and it being pretty cold, he's out barbecuing. I know. We've got a big fancy barbecue with offset coals. So it is coals, it's not electric, not gas, but once you put the coals in there to the side, so you can maintain the temperature, it's got fans and so on. You can sit in the house with an app and it will tell you what temperature the barbecue's at. So he's off experimenting with some chicken thighs, but he's going to be in and out doing his marinades and his bits and pieces. So you might hear the door opening and closing, but yeah, so apologies if you do. So I'll refer to my notes a little bit, like I say, just to start with at least. So in December, I had 5 finishes, 6 new starts. Some of those, actually all but one of those were the finishes as well. So, and then I worked on 10 different projects in December, and I completed my December, which ended the year, whip go numbers. Now, actually in December, I technically had 18 starts. So if you've watched my Flosstube extra, where I talked about my plans, my sort of stats for 2024 of what I'd done, and then what I was planning for January and sort of a little bit of moving forward into the year, you'll know that I said I was starting lots of the hares that are by Wanderling Stitches, and I'm going to do one a month throughout 2025. So I was going to start them as a 12 in 12 project on the 31st of December, New Year's Eve. So get a little start on each one, so that then next year, so January, I can just carry on and so on and so on. And I said that I was just going to count that as one whip, because, you know, I didn't want to add 12 to my whip count, and I just thought, well, it's kind of one, because I wouldn't necessarily, I've never done that before, so I would have normally not had a start that's for February in December. I would have, anyway, from much berating by my husband and daughter-in-law, Bethany, and a couple of my friends who were like, you know, that is actually 12 starts, right? I've come to the realisation that, yeah, it's 12 starts. So technically in December, I had 18 new starts. Yeah. So I told you the stats in my plans video. That technically isn't right. So basically last year in 2024, I had 66 new starts. That does include those 12 now. So, you know, it's not, I UFO'd, or I'm not working on any more, 5 of those, so that's 61. I finished 29 of those 66 starts, plus 7 other projects that were from previous to 2024. And I am going into 2025 or was going into 2025 with 43 whips, which includes the 12 hares. I'm going to say that every time. It includes the 12 hares that I want to call one project. 43 whips. And then obviously I've had New Year's starts, which you'll see in my January video at the beginning of February. But basically, yeah, I've had 2 already. There's 2 planned. There's probably others I want to do. So yeah, quite a lot of whips. Anyway, let's see. So first of all, I just want to say a little bit about a fundraiser that Charlie Feathers is doing, Stitches with Charlie Feathers. Again, if you watch one of my previous videos, you have seen me waffle on a little bit about that. I'll keep it brief, and you can always skip ahead if this is not something you're interested in. But basically, her little girl's kindergarten, where she lives in Cornwall, was really, really badly damaged. I'll pop some pictures in, by Storm Dara, and they are fundraising to rebuild and get it all back up and running. So if you'd like to, and you feel that you have a little bit of spare money and you want to donate, for a minimum donation of £10, you will get an exclusive chart, which I'll pop a picture in here, that Yasmin's Made with Love designed for the fundraiser for Charlie. So yeah, I'll pop all the details below of Charlie's Flosstube, her Instagram, and where you can go to her Ko-fi or Coffee account and donate, buy the chart basically, to donate to the rebuilding of the kindergarten. You will be entered into a prize draw as well. There's lots of people who have offered up various things. Swan Bay Fabrics have offered some fabrics. Corrie's little shop, Letitia, has offered something as well. So there's Yasmin's offered. There's various designers and suppliers out there who have said to Charlie that they will put in this, that, or the next thing. So if you go into the fundraiser, you can win some really, really nice goodies. So it's really great that those people are all supporting Charlie. And if you've got a little bit of spare cash, then please do donate as well if you can. The only other little bit of thing to say is about the Owl Patchwork Stitch Along by Historical Sampler. So Little Owl Patchwork Sampler Sale started on the 1st of January. You can still join. Hop over to the website. You can download the PDFs. You can get the kits. I've probably about 63% through part 1, and I'm loving it. The colours, it's a wintry theme. It's just gorgeous. So if you want to join in with that, then do. Again, I did a video about, my previous video was a review of the Historical Sampler Company's Advent box. Now, it was gifted to me, so I appreciate people might think, oh well, she's not going to be very impartial, but I'm not being funny. If I didn't like something, I'd say. But it doesn't matter that it was gifted as such, although I was more than grateful. There's no point me saying it's fantastic if it isn't. But it was fantastic. If you pop back and watch my review, if you're interested, it was a lovely box. If it's piqued your interest, you can go onto their website, and I will put a link below to show your interest for 2025's Advent box. You're not committing to anything. It just means you'll get a little email when they start to release the order dates, or just before, so you can kind of go, oh yeah, I forgot about that, yeah, I want to get in on that, and you won't miss out. It is a really, really good box. I really enjoyed it. Right, let's move into the stitching. So 5 finishes. So these were, all but 1 were new starts and finishes. So 3 of them were from the Advent box that I've just spoke briefly about. We got 6 little charts in there. We had a pack on the top of the box that contained the threads, all the threads we needed for all the charts that are in the box. We had the piece of fabric and the chart on various days throughout Advent. And after the day that we got the chart, so on the first day we got this, the gingerbread house pattern that I'm going to show you my finish of in a minute. And then the next day we got an email with the PDF copy of the chart, which I just thought was really, really good. Because then for those people that don't want to stitch from a paper pattern, I don't really mind either. It is nice to be able to pop it into Pattern Keeper or Markup RXP or a similar app if that's what you use. Obviously they're easy to store, PDFs, because they're just there in the clouds or wherever, rather than lots of bits of paper. So that, I thought that was good. So the first one we got was the gingerbread house. So we'd already got the threads, like I say. We also got lots of finishing things, but as you can see, I haven't FFO'd mine yet. But we got this lovely piece of sagey green Ada and the pattern in paper format on day 1. and I stitched it up pretty much straight away. And that's number one. Then I can't remember what day it was, but on another day we got Christmas robins, and that came with more of a sort of petrol blue colour Ada. Now I did make some little changes to mine. So in the robins up here, it was a lighter brown on the top, but I preferred this brown, so I just did it all the brown in one brown. And I did add some little legs to my robins because they didn't have any legs. But it's so lovely. And again, we got all the finishing things that we need to fully finish it. Actually, as I'm going along, I will pop pictures in of their finishes, of how we can finish it with the supplies that we were given, because they're so cute. And then the third one we got in the advent box was the snowman snow globe. Again, I made some changes. I'll pop a picture in. There were some candy canes in the snow globe as well, but I wasn't so keen on having those in mine, so I just did extra snowflakes. And that's on the same sort of sagey green Ada as the gingerbread house. So yeah, that was those. I also finished this little calendar. So this is from the mini calendar series that is by Stitching Cabin. This was a free stitch along, was it last year? Might be the year before. And I got up to, great guns, all going along, and got up to and finished August, up to and including August. So I did all the way through from January to August, and then kind of completely stalled. And September had just got a tiny little bit left to do, so I just pulled it out and I was like, just finish it. So that's got finished. So it's September. Now I've changed the colours on mine. I'll have to pop a picture in of what the design actually looks like, because I'm sure I've changed mine. It might be that I've just used different fabric. This is 32 count linen. I think it's a permin linen. It's called Halloween. And literally all I had to do was like two sides of this outside border, I think. So yeah, just thought I needed to get that done and dusted. Obviously I need to do October, November, December, but then I haven't finished the Le Finestre del Tempo one from last year either. So yeah, quite a few little calendar ones to go. Then on, was it Christmas Day? Christmas Day, I was feeling Christmassy, but I hadn't really stitched on anything Christmassy. And a little while back now, it's probably even not even last year, it's probably the year before, I ordered a piece of fabric for something from Northgate Needlecraft. Yeah, Needlecraft. And they are a physical shop, I believe, in Great Yarmouth. I just ordered online, and when the fabric came, it was beautifully packaged in lots of in some lovely tissue, and tied with a beautiful ribbon. And then inside there was also this little tiny card with a sort of Nutcracker Santa on it by Prairie Schooler. Now apparently they give these little charts out to retailers to just pop into people's orders and so on. It doesn't actually have a name. It just says it's for additional designs, see our new book number 59, Nutcrackers. But it's basically like a little Santa, but he's got a nutcracker kind of face. And I thought, oh yeah, I've got that. And the chart's on the back. It tells you what they stitched it on, which was 32 count Sage Jobelan, and they used 2 strands of floss, just DMC. So I pulled him out, and I found a bit of fabric, and I'd got all the fabric and some threads picked out, and I stitched him up. And this is on 32 count linen. Picture this plus linen in the colour called Brash. So it's a really nice sort of motley fabric, and I did use the DMC. It's not all called for. I did change the red, I think they called for 221, which is quite a pinky red, and I wanted it a little bit brighter, so I think mine was 321, I think. Yeah. So I finished him, started him Christmas Day and finished him Boxing Day. I mean, I could have done it in the day if I'd have started first thing in the morning, kind of, you know, but I think I just started it in the evening. But yeah, a couple of days and he was done. So yeah. So that's the finishes. So pretty good. I mean, they were all starts and finishes. It's not like I've it's not like I've got the whip count down, but there we are. Well, apart from one whip down. So new starts were most of those, and the hares, which I'll show you in a sec. The only other new starts for December, there were two. So the first one is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. That's the pattern. And this is a stitch along being run by the Sunshine Stitchers, who have a Flosstube and a Facebook page, a Facebook group, where they have sort of divided the pattern up into 12. So we can, the stitch along started on the 15th of December, but it's a 13-month stitch along. So if you started this month, it's still a 12, you know, you've still got 12 months, and there's no rules. You don't have to finish by a certain date, but the idea is that you finish in December next year. So I haven't stuck to the exact sort of layout that they've picked. I just started top left and did 2 or 3 motifs, as you'll see in a minute. But I found this pattern, saw this pattern for the first time at Big Stitch in July. Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery was there, and I just love it. And when I asked him what threads he'd used so that I could copy, and he said, there, it's not stitched, that's a mock-up, and it's such a good picture. I thought it was his stitching. And he said, so you can just use what you like. So I did go round to see Letitia in the vendor area at Corrie's little shop, and together she helped me pick some threads that are pretty similar or match really to these colours, because that's what really drew me to it. I think if I'd seen this in monochrome, it might not have appealed to me quite so much. The only colour I haven't picked is anything for the letters, because I'm not sure that I'm going to bother putting the letters and numbers on. I'm going to see what it looks like as I go along. So these are the threads that I chose. Let me put them against. Okay, so I chose a dark blue, a lighter blue, the green and the terracotta. Let me put those against the board, see if that'll make it easier to see them. Yeah. Like I say, with Letitia's help, I chose those. And they are, the green is a classic colourworks called English Ivy. Dark blue is Weeks Dye Works Michael's Navy. Light blue, Weeks Dye Works Glacial Melt. And the terracotta is Terracotta, also by Weeks Dye Works. So yeah, I just thought they were perfect, and this is where I got to. So I started up here, did this first dark blue motif, and came down and did the green, the terracotta, and then the light blue, and I just love it. I'm stitching it on 32 count Zweigart linen, Belfast linen in platinum, one of my favourite colourways, one of my favourite linens. Yeah, I mean, I might not keep up with the sal. I've got a lot of whips, as you know now, throughout the year, but I am going to try and do a little bit each month if I can, because I just love it. Yeah, so really pleased with that. The other start that I had in December is a stitch along that I'm doing with my daughter-in-law Bethany. She bought me the chart when we were at the Floss Friends retreat at Rotherham. She bought the chart for herself, and I was like, oh yeah, I love that one too. So she said, well, how about I buy it for you as sort of for Christmas. This was in November, but still, and then we'll do a stitch along. So I said, oh yeah, perfect, let's do that. So this is the chart. It's called Cat Lovers, and again, if you've been to my channel before, you'll know that Bethany is married to my son Morgan, and they have 2 cats, Luke and Leia. I'll pop a picture in of them here, actually. They're very cute. And they're brother and sister, hence Luke and Leia. Again, if you know, Luke and Leia are brother and sister in Star Wars, and they're massive Star Wars fans. So this is Cat Lovers by Jardin Privé. These are the colours, which are just, let me twist them around a bit. They are absolutely gorgeous. Pinks and blues and greens. They are all DMC. they are on these gorgeous little floss drops as well that Bethany made on her cry cut machine. So on the back it says DMC and a line ready for you to put your number in, and then there's just various different patterned papers on the front, and they're just gorgeous, perfect for these threads. And this is my start. So this is also on, so I got 32 count Belfast linen in platinum. So I've got that whole of that big flower pot motif finished. Those pinks are just gorgeous. One little cat. Now I don't think you'll notice, but the eagle-eyed among you may notice that my cat is not quite, he might not be quite in the right place. Yeah, a little bit of a counting error. So he's a little bit too close to this motif. I think he's 2 stitches this way and should be further that way, but that was noticed when it was finished and I wasn't ripping it out. Simple as that. I made it work. And I forgot to say on my Put a Bird on It and on this one that the needle minders are by Charlie Feathers, Stitches with Charlie Feathers. You can go to her Ko-fi shop and buy needle minders there. The one on the Put a Bird on It is, it was in her shop and I bought it. This one I did ask her to specifically make for me. She'd made one for somebody else, I think, and I said, oh, can I have one like that for my cat lover's Sal? So that's that. So they were the starts in December that weren't all finishes as well. Obviously the other starts, as I keep harping on about and everybody knows about, the other 12 were the hares. So I'll pop some pictures in as I go along of the what the finished designs will look like. But here are 12 little starts on the various hares that I'm going to do per month. So this is January, which is hare and snow hare. February is hare and snowdrops. So most of these are sort of top leftish starts, really, as near as I could get. The ones that aren't, you'll see and I'll tell you. March, hare and daffodils. April, hare and bleeding hearts. May is hare and blossom, I think it's called. So I've got a little bit of the tree and that tiny little bird there. May. June. Yeah, June is hare and daisies. So they're small starts, don't get me wrong, but I did complete the 12 in 12 before midnight. They were all started, so I was very pleased with myself. I had my friends cheering me on. Thanks, guys. I forgot what month I'm in now. This one is, I can't even remember what this one is called. This must be July, and it must be hare and bumblebees. August, hare and sunflowers. I started bottom left because that was just the easiest place to get a little motif done. September, hare and thistles. November, started bottom left again because it was just the easiest place, is hare and pumpkins. November is hare and acorns. And December is bottom left start, hare and mistletoe. So like I say, I've put the pictures in so you can see what they're actually going to look like. They are all being stitched on 32 count Murano even weave from Zweigart in Vintage Country Mocha. All with the called for DMCs. No, there is colour changes I think in January because the hare is snow hare, so the hare is white, but I want to do it brown the same as all the other months. I didn't want to do it white, so, and I think some of the colours of the snow might have been like shades of grey and blue. I can't remember now. You'll have seen from the picture, but you'll see as we go along. And I'll let you know what changes I have made to that one. But so far the others are all called for DMC. So I was really pleased to get those all started. I was really pleased that I did do the 12 in 12. Like I say, I had a few friends on our group chat cheering me on, Charlie and Kim and so on. My husband was also very good. So towards the end, he got the threads that I needed for that particular month's chart out ready for me off the ring, and he got the chart ready for me and stuff like that. But I did it within the 12 hours, so I was really pleased with that. Then the only other, just check my notes, I think this is the only other, I've forgotten 2 whips, so I'll have to pop pictures in. So I did complete the Whip Go numbers for December, but I've completely forgotten to bring both of those projects over here, and they're way down the other end of the room. They were Polish Band Sampler by Yasmin's Made with Love, and the Lenate Secret Stitch Along from 2020, which is my very oldest whip, started in October 2020, so yeah, 4 and a bit years old. So I'll pop a couple of pictures in of where I was before I worked on them for Whip Go and where I was after I worked on them for Whip Go. So those will be there. Then the only other pattern I worked on in December for hashtag Barbara Anna Wednesdays is Christmas Cat. So obviously Christmas Day and New Year's Day were Wednesdays, but I didn't work on her those days. But I did work on her on other Wednesdays in December. These are the thread colours, all DMC. Absolutely gorgeous. Barbara Anna's colours are always just so bright and cheerful. Really, really pretty. And this is how she's looking. So there's a few people who do hashtag Barbara Anna Wednesdays on Instagram, one of them being Stitchy Sally. I can never remember all the other people's names like she does, so I will try and remember and tag them below. I'm also stitching this with Rebecca, who is Lofty Makes on Instagram, so I'll tag her below too. We just decided to start it in July together. She's a bit, quite a bit further on than me, I think. So yeah, I just worked on the sort of skirt bringing down here and this sort of bauble. Yeah, she's lovely, isn't she, Bethany? Again, if you've been here before, you know that Bethany hates the cat. Well, she hates that cat. So that's everything that I worked on. Like I say, the Whip Go pieces I've popped pictures in because I've just totally forgot to bring those over. I'm doing Whip Go again in 2025. So in 2024, it was Bethany's idea actually to put my 12 oldest whips onto the Whip Go board and have them on there twice to make sure that they all got a little bit of work on throughout the year, which worked absolutely perfectly. For this year, what I did was I just went through my whip list, picked out things that perhaps hadn't been worked on last year, hadn't been worked on a lot, or others that I was like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed working on those when I worked on those in Whip Go 2024, pop those on again. So again, it's 12 projects and they're all on there twice. There's one free space, which I haven't decided whether I'll do or not do anything for. But yeah, I've planned it all out. This month, the numbers were called are 20 and 11. They were called in that order, so that's the way I'm going to stitch them rather than 11 and 20. Call me mad, but that's just how my brain works. So they are, what are they? Big Stitch, Big Tree, which was the Big Stitch exclusive pattern designed by Jacob from Modern Fake Embroidery, and a sampler garden also by Jacob at Modern Faker Embroidery, and I haven't brought those over. I did show them in my plans video, but yeah, you'll see those next time when I've worked on them. So, couple of little things and plans, and then a little bit of haul at the end. I have an affiliate link for Talking Dog Stitchery. So you may know Rachel, Talking Dog Stitcher. She has a Flosstube. You know that she has an online store. She's got fabrics on there, threads on there, loads of charts and books and all sorts. So if you fancy a little shop, if you've had some money for Christmas maybe, then do pop along. I will put a link down in the show notes to her website via my affiliate link. And if you go and shop via that link, I get a tiny little bit of commission. And for that, I have a code for you to use to get some money off your shopping. So if you go over, there's a minimum spend, I think it's £10, and you can use the code Sarah5. Again, I'll put all the details below, and you'll get 5% off your order. And like I say, if you use that particular link, then I'll get a little bit of a few pence back in commission. So plans, a lot of plans. Well, there's 2 new starts planned for January, and there's probably about 50 million other things that I want to start. Maybe not in January, but yeah, there's quite a few things that are on my immediate radar. And I know what you're gonna say, but you've started the year with 43 whips. I know, but I'm doing it anyway. I stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch. That's how it works, because I love it. You can make your own rules, you can make no rules, you can follow other people's rules. I'm just doing my own thing over here. So the first planned new start is for Charlie Feather's birthday, which is in the middle of January. I'll pop a picture in here because I don't have a copy of the picture. It is Miss Teapot by Barbara Anna Designs. And I have got all the DMC threads, which I'm going to probably throw on the floor. Not going to be able to show those very well. All the DMC threads ready. She says she can't hold them up. To go. Gorgeous, gorgeous colour palette. And I think I've decided, with my husband's help, who is very good at picking fabric colours. So I will show him various fabrics. I'll say, right, these are the threads. This is the pattern, what it's going to be. Which of these fabrics? And 9 times out of 10 he goes, that one. It's just instant, and it always works. So I did that again, and he has chosen this one. I'll just get it out of the bag because it's in a crinkly bag from Coffee Craft Fabrics. So she doesn't name her fabrics, so there's no name on it. Let me see, sort of like that, kind of a goldy yellow, but it's got little sort of almost tinges of brown, if that doesn't sound really gross. I just thought it was a little bit like tea. So it's a 32 count even weave. Her fabrics are lovely, so yeah, I've stitched on them a lot before. So yeah, hopefully that'll look good on there. And like I said, that's one of the things that Charlie's starting for her birthday, so I'm going to join her with that. Also in January is my birthday, so I'm going to have a new start for my birthday. And you've seen this before if you've watched my channel before. I'm going to start the chart by Mirabilia called Pretty to Think So. So it's got a lot of colours. These are the DMCs. I think there's 45 DMCs. It's not even a huge pattern. You think, oh my God, it's going to be a giant. It's not. Like, the design will fit on a piece of fabric in an 11-inch Q-snap. So it's not massive. It's just got lots of different colours. I mean, look at them. Absolutely gorgeous. So I've got them all in floss away bags, all on a nice big ring, ready to go. Then the project is ready in this bag that my lovely daughter-in-law Bethany made for me. She also made me a matching Q-snap grime guard in the same fabric. So I know it doesn't fit with the theme of Mirabilia, it's BB-8 from Star Wars, but I don't care. The colour is right, and it's just a really nice bag. So that's the back fabric. Then when I take the bits out of here, I'll show you what's on the inside. It's just little yellow stars. Vinyl front, but it fits an 11-inch Q-snap quite easily with the project on, no problem. So yeah, gorgeous bag for a gorgeous project. You just get this off here, and this is the chart. Isn't she just gorgeous? It's called, like I say, Pretty to Think So. It's Mirabilia. It is stitched in mostly DMC at all those flosses over there. There are, is there any metallic? I don't think there's any metallic threads. No metallic threads. Lots of beads and one silk by Karen Water Lilies. So this is the silk. It is 277 hot peppers. You can see the sort of pink, purple running through there, a little bit of golden and yellow. Really, really pretty. And like I say, 277 hot peppers, that's called. Little focus. So that's the one of those that you need. I also got the bead pack. So I think this bead pack was actually from Lakeside Needlecraft. So they come, all the beads that you need for the projects come in these little baggies. You can get them for probably not all, but you know, most of the different Mirabilias and Nora Corbetts and so on that use lots of beads and Krynics and stuff. They do these sort of bead packs. Arts and Designs do the bead packs as well. I have bought them from there before. But yeah, I've got the bead pack and the called for linen, which is by Permin, 32 count, and it's called Prairie Grain. Grain. And it is that sort of greeny, mustardy colour. First look, you think, it's a bit of a dingy colour, but it's the call for, and it's so beautiful. The threads on it look really, really good. So looking forward to that. And then I asked Charlie Feathers to make me a matching needle minder, which she did with beautiful flowers on, which I can use on there as well. So they are definite starts. One on Charlie's birthday and one on mine. My birthday's the 24th, so a little bit longer to wait. But yeah, definitely cannot wait to start her. There's other things that are on my radar. Bethany and I are also going to do, and again, I did say this in my plans video, so if you've seen that, you'll have heard me, so waffling on again about it. We're going to do a stitch along that was sort of going to start in July for Bethany's birthday. She's going to stitch The Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow, and I'm going to stitch The Greenhouse of Oddities. This is The Greenhouse of Oddities. It was a stitch along a while ago now. So, and I just want to stitch it, and she wants to stitch the aquarium. But what we've decided is that at some point before July, we'll try and do at least some of the framework for each of them. So the Deadly Aquarium, I'll pop a picture in of the Deadly Aquarium. That's obviously got a framework that's the outside of the aquarium, as it were. And like this has got the outside sort of greenhouse framework. So we're going to try and get some. I don't think I'll get all of it done. Bethany might. She's got a lot less whips than me. Try and get some of at least the framework done so that in July we can actually start on the fun stuff inside. So yeah, so that's a far off plan, but a plan nonetheless. I am going to do the, again, I talked about it in the last video, the Flossabilities little seasonal pillows. So starting in March for spring and so on and so on. I didn't bring those over. Then there's a few other things that are just keep calling to me and are on my radar. This is one, Books on Magic by Counting Puddles. I've seen a lot of people stitching this. I know that What's Morgan Stitching, who's based in Australia, she stitched it. She did it as a stitch along, and she stitched it up in really quickly, and it looks amazing. So I do have some of the called for fabric, which is by Be Stitch Me. It's called Scotsman. I did buy a piece of even weave and a piece of linen, so I can decide which one to use. But yeah, that keeps calling to me. I really want to stitch that. Another one I've got my eye on is this pattern that was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Does it tell me when? Yes. Fall 2024, Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and it's this red sampler, which I have shown before because it's S Ward and I am S Ward. Obviously I'm not age 7, so I probably won't put age 7. What I thought I would do is the The W is quite a little bit away from the A. So I thought if I move that up, I can probably get a year in there or something different, probably not my age. But yeah, I don't want to put age 7 because although it's a reproduction sampler of S. Ward who stitched it when she was 7, yeah. So I have that's, and I have looked at fabrics. So I have got a couple here, got 3 on here. Got 3 40 counts here. So you know that I've only stitched on 40 count once before. So big challenge, but I'm fancying it. So I've got 40 count fibre on a whim wheat. Let me show you these. These are potential contenders, and it's not quite as dark as that. Fibre on a whim wheat. 40 count Permin champagne. That's very light platinum, but it is a little bit darker. 40 count vintage country mocha. And they're the sort of 3 potential fabrics that I've kind of pulled out, with potentially these reds. Only one of them, but I'm not decided on which yet. So either Weeks Dye Works Candy Apple, or which is one of my favourite reds, or one of my other favourite reds is, get it round the right way. No, it's not, it's darker than that. It's a red Valdani stranded cotton, and it's called Proud Turkey. So either of those on one of those. So yeah, another one I want to do. And another one that calls to me regularly, I bought at, did Bethany buy me this one? No, Bethany bought me this one as well towards my Christmas, when we were at the Floss Friends retreat in Rotherham. And this is called Beautiful Things by Primrose Cottage. And I just love it so much. The colours are just perfect. It's really, really nice. I haven't chosen or even thought about a fabric yet, but I did get all the called for threads. So they are all classic colourworks? Yeah, all classic colourworks in 1 DMC. So they're all the classic colourworks. And then just the 1 DMC 3857. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's another one that calls to me all the time. So that's plans and a few, maybe plans and a few, probably start that soon, things. But yeah, let me know if you're starting any of those, or if you have started any of those that I've sort of talked about. I also kind of want to start the Boulder Quinn Birdies bonus chart, which is at the bottom of the Boulder Quinn Birdies chart by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I did ask Lizzie, who is this Mrs. Fisher Stitches, I did message her and ask her if I could use her photo. So this is a photo of her version of the bonus chart in one of her favourite colours, which is orange. And I just love the idea that she'd just done it in the brightest colour that she loves the most. And I thought that is a fantastic idea. So I'm going to do it on a pink fabric by Coffee Craft Fabrics, in a really lovely pink thread that I like, that's also from Coffee Craft Fabrics. But yeah, so that's another one that's like on the radar, it keeps calling to me. Okay, so that's all the stitching really. I've got some haul and some stitchy kindness to talk about and show you. Left some stitchy kindness over there, never mind. So if you're not here for the haul bits and somebody sent me this bits and all of that, then thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you're sticking around, there's a little bit of haul here. It's not massive, but there is a really, really, really lovely book. So you might want to look at that. The first thing is I got some stitchy kindness from the lovely Charlie Feathers. I'll have to pop a picture in here. She sent me a gorgeous package with a little, she'd seen in the charity shop, a little DMC embroidery kit. and it has these gorgeous little lambs on it, as you'll be seeing. And I've done a little bit of embroidery in my time, so she said, oh, you know, I'm going to get that for you, and if you want it. So I said, oh yes, please. So she sent me that, and it's so pretty and it's so tiny. So yeah, I need to give that a go. And along with that, she sent me some gorgeous little floss drops that I'm using some of on the new stitching cabin stitch along, which is I have started. It's a January start, so I'll show you that next time. And yeah, they're really little, just painted floss drops, and they're just super. So yeah, pop a picture in of that there. And in the box was also, as you can see in the picture, a little coaster that she'd made some time ago, that she'd found when she was having a little sort out, and she thought it was my sort of colours and that I'd like it, and I do. And I've got it on the side next to me where I stitch, with my little Ort pot on the top. So yeah, thank you very much, Charlie. I did a little bit of stitchy kindness for Charlie and some other friends. So Charlie and Yasmin from Yasmin's Made with Love, Laura from Butterfly Stitches 83 or Cotton and Clay UK, and Shell from Cheesecake and Cross Stitch, and Kim from Stitchy Squirrels. I got them all a little chart and sent them for Christmas. So I got them all this chart. I have it as well, which is Silver Creek Samplers. Can't read that backwards. Sheer Madness. So it's basically a little chart to stitch the stalk scissors design, really, to make a little scissor fob. So I'd previously asked them a while back what their favourite colour was, so that I could kind of include a thread. So I tried to find sort of Weeks Dye Works or Classical or something a little bit fancy, a thread, but in their favourite colour. So each person got the chart, a thread to stitch. I mean, they don't have to stitch it in that thread, but I just, you know, thought it might be nice. And then a little matching pair of scissors. So I've got in here, is that platinum as well? A little bit of fabric, I'm not sure what that is, and a couple of threads, because I'm not sure whether to do it in the Valdani green or that gorgeous Tom and Lily Creations thread in pink, which Kim sent to me as a little gift a little while ago. Or maybe I'll do two, you know, in my spare time. So that was sort of stitchy kindness, but going the other way. Then purchase wise, I got these little scissors this week. So I went to the Stitchery. Didn't go to the Stitchery. I went to the Stitchery online. And the Stitchery do lots of things. Embroidery patterns. There's a section of, they do some cross stitch patterns. They do all sorts of things. And they've got, this is their little logo. They are based in, doesn't say, not sure. And I wanted a pair of, might have to take them out of the bag. Oh no, little tiny stalk scissors. They're called Stalklets by Kelmscott Designs, and they're in the black. I do have the stalk scissors in black, the larger version, the standard size version, so they match. I also got this week a piece of fabric from Coffee Craft, very similar to the one I'm going to do Miss Teapot on, but this is less, it's got no real sort of browny bits in it. It's more just the sort of golden colours. Again, just 32 count even weave. It's really, really nice. Just before Christmas, I think Peakside Needleworks had a sort of pre-order or show your interest in a couple of new Teresa Kogut patterns. So I got this one, which is Deck the Halls. I mean, look at that dress and the little Santa hat on the kitty. And that's just stitched in DMC. No fancy threads on that one. And then the other one that they had, which lots of you will have already seen, is the Santa booklet, Hello Santa. These booklets that Teresa Kogut produces are just amazing. Let me see if I can find a page without a chart on. So there's, does it say how many charts? 7 charts in here, all different sort of Santa designs. But then there's also artwork as well. I can bring it down without showing the pattern. absolutely gorgeous artwork in here as well, and it's a really good quality paper card. That's one of the Santas. It's just the most gorgeous book, full stop, whether you stitch one thing out of it, all 7 or none, frankly. It's really, really lovely. So yeah, glad I got my hands on a copy of that. I think Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery is getting these, or has these, so do go and check her shop out. Like I said before, there's a link below for my affiliate link. But yeah, and if it's not on there, you can always message or ask her to get it. She's quite good, actually, that she has got a section on there where you can put in a request, and she will try very hard to get something if you are looking for a particular chart or particular pattern. So yeah, that's also an option on there. But yeah, that's gorgeous. And then, talking of Talking Dog Stitchery, I did order and get this new book. This is called The Emerging Queendom, and it's by 2 people, Paige Baldwin Ando and Maria Imashiva. Sorry if I said that wrong. And they are, or one of them or both of them, I'm not sure, are the designers. I think it's I'm going to have to write it on the screen because I can't remember how to say it. Is it Quarton? I'll put it on the screen. They do lots of designs anyway, and you can buy those charts on Talking Dog Stitchery as well. But this book is amazing. So you get this pattern and others in the book, but what you get is, in the first bit, is a story or words about each thing. So this is all the sort of story and write-up about the plant witch, which is this design. Absolutely gorgeous design. So then you get all the story about it, a couple of pages, and then you get the chart. It also lists the DMC numbers for the colours that they've used, and it also tells you what they've stitched it on. So the plant witch, for example, is stitched on 32 count green Witchel Lugana. Yeah, and it's like that throughout the whole book. I mean, there's some just absolutely stunning charts in here. There's quite a lot I want to stitch, again, you know, in my spare time. And there's so much beautiful artwork. I mean, look at that. Now, I haven't set up to do a sort of flip through, so it's going to be very difficult to do it now off the cuff. If you would like to see more of this book and a proper flip through, then let me know in the comments, or message me on Instagram, or email me. That'll be in the drop down box as well, and I will go through it properly. But if you've seen it and you've thought about it and you're not sure, get it. It's really, really lovely. Really lovely. Then the only last piece of excuse me, the last piece of haul excuse me, is this that I've been meaning to show you for about 2 months. So this is like a portfolio folder. I'm going to call. Sorry about that. If you're seeing this, I paused it, and then I had a massive coughing fit. So hopefully you're seeing this because I've managed to work out somehow how to make these videos go together. We'll see. This is what I was showing you, is a portfolio folder that I think is sort of sold as a diamond painting portfolio. So it's basically got pages in it, like plastic wallet pages sort of thing, to pop your finished diamond paintings or whatever in. And somebody had got one at the Floss Friends retreat in Rotherham. Can't remember her name, and I didn't know her name, and I did ask somebody else her name, and I still can't remember. I'll have to pop it on the screen. Yeah, I'll pop it on here. And she got one, and she used it to put some of her finishes in, her cross stitch finishes, so like a book, for things that she wasn't going to necessarily frame or finish into something else. Obviously, what else you do with them? They go in the box of doom under the bed, or wherever you keep your box of doom, and that's where they stay. But I just thought this was, Bethany and I both thought this was such a great idea. We both got one. I don't think either of us, well, I haven't, as you can see, and I don't think Bethany has either. I actually got round to getting the projects out of the box of doom and putting them in, But yeah, this year that's what one of my plans is, to get them out, pop them in here so they're like a book, so that you can leave it, you know, if you've got a coffee table on your coffee table or whatever, and then you can sort of flick through them. You can see all those things that you can't possibly have framed because A, framing is expensive, and you know, you don't want to get everything framed, and B, there isn't enough space on the, well, unless you live in a great big house, maybe you have got loads of space on the walls, but I live in a tiny 2-bed cottage, so I'm probably going to have to swap things out. I'm not going to be able to have everything that I've got framed, let alone want to get framed, up on the walls at the same time. So I just thought this was such a great idea. I'll put a link below of where, of the one that we got. We both got the same one. There was different colours. It was from Amazon. Not expensive, but yeah, just, I think does it say they're 60? I think that means there's 60 pages, and you can back to back them like you would like if it was paper. So yeah, so great idea. Had it for a couple of months, not done anything with it. Been meaning to show you. I think that's it. Oh, Coffee Craft Fabrics as well, I should mention, has got a website now. So this piece of fabric that came this week was actually from her sale on Facebook, which she normally does. But she does actually have a physical website now where you can go and look at what fabric she's got and order it there and then. So I'll pop a link to her shop below as well. Yeah, so get yourself over there and have a little shop if you like her fabric. And that's it. So yeah, lots of plans, lots of things that will probably become whips, even if they're not planned. We'll see. So hopefully this is going to get merged together if it doesn't stay together, and there might be quite a big chunk that I have to try and cut out. If not, there'll be a lot of coughing. I'll do my best. Next month is February, and that will be my 1-year anniversary on Flosstube. So I think I did my first video at the end of February, so I guess technically if I film at the beginning of the month, the beginning of March would be more like my Flosstube anniversary. But by the end of February, I would love to have 1,000 subscribers on here. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know. It's just some kind of magic number that everybody wants to get to, really. And it does help you grow your channel a little bit. It puts it out there a little bit more. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed and you've enjoyed it, apart from the coughing, for which I apologise again, and probably terrible editing, then please do consider subscribing. I think I didn't check just before I came on, but yesterday I think I'd got 938 subscribers. So there's a little way to go, really, to get to 1,000. So I'm not kind of not expecting it. Well, I never expect it, but I'd love it if it did happen. So yeah, if you'd like to, if you've liked it, please consider subscribing, and let's see if I can get to 1,000 by the end of February. That would be lovely. And that's it. I'll see you next time, which will be sometime towards the beginning of February, for a look back of what I've done in January, how many things that I've started, stitched on, and so on, and yeah, a general recap and catch up. So I hope you're all staying warm. My heater is pumping out some really nice warmth into this room, so it's all fine so long as I don't move to another room which hasn't got a heater in. And yeah, and enjoy the snow if you've got it. Stay warm and happy stitching.